Patrick Reed, the leader, by 4.
Getting close. Does he make it? I think he makes it.
Patrick Reed takes the title at the Farmers Insurance Open, shoots a final round 68 to complete a 5-shot victory.
Well, it's official. 136 days till ball's in the air. Here we go. The U.S. Open is on the clock.
The U.S. Open. It's about history and pageantry and tradition, sure. But also all the stories that surround it year after year after year.
It's a course that I've seen a lot in my life. It's in front of my home crowd, so it's all on me, you know what I mean?
Stories like a local kid, lifting himself up to the very top of the game and getting a chance to win a first major title right in his own backyard.
Hit it, wind. Any wind up there, hit it a little bit.
A superstar, rediscovering his old form, and maybe just the right moment.
That's what's great about a U.S. Open is it's a grind.
A champion, uninterested in convention, ready to repeat in a way only he can, playing a game only he's familiar with. And literally thousands of others chasing them. They come from all over. They've worked for it. They've dreamed about it. They've walked towards it. The same thing for all of them.
This is really, truly special.
One single moment. Their U.S. Open moment. Because in the end, from the many, there will only be one.
55 survivors of the second round cut. Get ready for the final 18 holes.
Extremely lucky to have won this championship.
From obscurity, he springs into fame as the Open Golf King of the United States.
Well, I've seen it, but I don't believe it.
U.S. Open champion. Oh, my.
Expect anything different?
Shot of his life. Got it. A major champion has won the U.S. Open.
Perfectly read. And Bryson DeChambeau is indeed a U.S. Open champion.
It was a few months late, and it looked a little different. But last September at Winged Foot, Bryson DeChambeau proudly held the U.S. Open trophy in his hands. It was a big moment for Bryson, just 4 days after his 27th birthday. But it was also the start of the clock ticking on the arrival of the next U.S. Open. Ready to return to the start of summer, on a course pitched on the very edge of the Pacific Ocean. The 2021 Men's U.S. Open is being held in San Diego, California, at one of the great municipal courses in America, Torrey Pines South. And for all the anticipation and build up to the championship, the truth is that the story of this U.S. Open, like every other, started years ago, when this host course was selected.
The 121st United States Open Championship will be played at Torrey Pines Golf Course, June 17th to 20th, 2021.
Almost 7 years later, the final moments of January's Farmers Insurance Open played out in San Diego, with the USGA Championship team ready to jump into action.
He's got his equipment. Is that a new putter?
Yeah. Here, we can get started.
All right, beautiful.
The United States Golf Association was established back in 1894. Its mission is the same now as it was then, to serve as golf's governing body and oversee 14 championships, including the U.S. Open every year.
We're just trying to get a real good head start on our whole locations. That's really the primary goal. When we get here during advance week, the week before the U.S.
And even though the Open is still 4 months away, this survey is important for establishing a baseline to work from.
This is USJ True Firm. It's what we use to basically determine how firm the greens are. That just happens to be 1.68 inches in diameter, similar to a golf ball. So it's an accelerometer, but you drop it, and the number that it gives us is depth of penetration in inches. So the lower the number, the firmer the green.
This is a good hole.
Into a west wind.
Into a west wind. Southwest, kind of quartering, crossing. This is a U.S. Open hole. 11, 12, 13. Pretty strong. 14's good. Then you go 15, 16, 17.
There's no let up.
There's not. Till 18.
There's a lot of pressure from this team getting ready for any U.S. Open. But this year, there's an added element. Trying to live up to the legend of 2008.
We'll just do what we do and go out and pick 4, maybe if we see a 5th alternate hole location. And we'll just look at the spots we think, and then I think at the end of when we do that, we'll pull out 2008.
Yeah, I've got the 08 hole locations with us.
Look what was done there just to compare, to make sure that we know and we didn't miss anything that was really good.
This is a grueling walk on a grueling golf course. Have you ever seen anything quite like this?
The fact that he made the unbelievable eagle and then the chip in, it's almost surreal. You're right.
It was the only other time the championship was held at Torrey Pines, and might just be the most memorable U.S. Open ever.
He was 5 shots back 6 holes ago. Let's listen how this crowd appreciates what he's done today. I think they're going to let him know.
Alexander Victor Schauffele was a 14-year-old boy on Father's Day in 2008.
It was like somewhere here, I felt like. Yeah, 08 U.S. Open, Tiger was wearing red. I remember watching Tiger actually somewhere in this area. He had hit his sand wedge up on the green from about 108 or 110. What people don't really talk about, in all honesty, was how hard that shot he hit was.
All these years later, he still remembers Tiger's heroics as clearly as the day they happened.
I was kind of standing right here in line. This is all built up. Big stadium, big stands, 10 rows deep, people are everywhere.
And Rocco trying to become the first player ever to track down Tiger Woods in a major championship when he's had the 54-hole lead.
I just remember him hitting this putt to this front right pin and making it and sort of doing his iconic double fist pump and the crowd going crazy, so.
Expect anything different?
I definitely remember in high school, once it all panned out, we dropped the balls in that area to try and, replicate sort of what he did. And I think all kids were jazzed to sort of be Tiger at that time, It was cool to witness it, and every time I come here, I do think of that moment. So it's pretty, I guess, more special to him, but special to me as well.
At this year's U.S. Open, he won't have to buy a ticket. Over the last few years, Schauffele's emerged as one of the most promising players on the PGA Tour. In 4 U.S. Opens, he's never finished lower than a tie for 6th, but he's still searching for his first major title. And there would be no better place to win one than at home.
If I could pick one, I'd say that would probably be it. If all the stars aligned, it would be Torrey Pines U.S. Open in my hometown, in front of my family and friends and everyone else. That would be pretty, one I'd be very, very satisfied with.
Because
most golfers find the secret on the range or through endless practice rounds.
Let's get a picture real quick so he can go.
For the reigning U.S. Open champion, the journey to the top has been a little different. A few months out from Torrey, he's in the lab, filming with his swing coach, Chris Como, and revealing what happens for him at the intersection of strength and speed, where he's discovering levels of distance and accuracy that the game of golf has never seen before.
It's 342 yards across.
He's heading just a little bit wide. This ball appears to be here.
I can produce this stretch recoil phase that allows me to then jump almost back and let the hands out to create massive clubhead speed.
And as championship week draws closer, Bryson DeChambeau is looking to accurately predict what happens next.
My game is suited for the difficulty. My game is suited for courses that aren't easy, and I hope I can do it again at Torrey Pines this year.
Bryson DeChambeau indeed has the King's title at Bay Hill.
That was very, very much intense there on the back nine. That was as animated as I get, and it meant that much to me. That's what's great about a U.S. Open is it's a grind.
Jordan Spieth's rise to the top of golf seemed to proclaim him the next great legend of the game.
You only get a few moments in your life like this, and I recognize that. Sitting here right now, I am understanding that this is a special time for me.
But the last few years have been inconsistent and unforgiving.
When you lose confidence, a lot of times it's hard to see the positive going forward.
Tough going there for Spieth. But with strong finishes in Phoenix, Pebble, and Arnie's Place to start this year, Spieth's star seems back on the rise.
Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness.
Is this 2016, 17? What is this?
Which means as the PGA Tour gets set for the Players' Championship in mid-March, Spieth is back in the glare of the spotlight.
Mike, Jordan, good morning. It's good to see you both out there on 17. Jordan, you're playing so well, man. Congrats. The last month's been so much fun to watch you. How are you feeling about Sawgrass this week?
Every year it provides just an unbelievable setting on these last few holes and obviously a tremendous list of champions. So I'd be honored to join that if possible.
The next morning, Xander Schauffele is up and at it early.
That's a good one. Good.
He's been given one of the first lots of the day, off the back nine at TPC Sawgrass.
How does it feel, balance-wise? You're trying to focus on that, right? Yeah.
At the very top of professional golf, the player hits the shots. But there's a team that manages everything else. Most players' teams don't employ an on-site doctor. And as teams, they might be rethinking the roster.
Every time I come up, it's like a quick lightheadedness.
It was fine this morning.
Yeah.
The boss is battling a severe case of dizziness, an unexpected obstacle at a property that's already full of them.
I mean, you don't get a sudden ear infection, so that's not it. Yeah.
So Schauffele's coach will be forced to grow his ever-expanding resume.
Certainly make sure you stay hydrated all around, so drink much more.
Adding physician's assistant to his responsibilities, a swing coach, and dad. And today, he's a bit of a hype man as well.
He will only withdraw when he's, like, literally out. And I'm proud of that. That's good. Gotta fight. Four. Good legs. It's short. One line. Good shot. Our father-son story is a slightly different kind of story. If you are alpha male, which I would claim to be, how does an alpha male bring up an alpha male? That was the problem in front of us. When we're on green grass, he's the boss. I'm just a cheerleader now. A handsome one, but a cheerleader. All right, now we're gonna try to not fall behind too far. Yeah.
By the fifth hole of the day, it's clear something is amiss. A trio of three putts are a telltale sign. But Xander's never been much for excuses.
You know, when he was younger, if he would win like a second or third place trophy, I made a point of having him throw it in the trash. You know, like, that's not the goal, right? That was never the goal. He would never feel sorry for himself. He's just trying to combat it and trying to find a way to still perform, right? That's all it is.
Schauffele cards a disappointing 76, putting him well back of the leader.
This is a small blip in the season-long performance, right? One tournament. I mean, this is an important one, but that won't be the case at Torrey in June.
He'll go on to miss the cut by 4 strokes. Not the ideal result for a player with championship aspirations. But there's plenty of time still ahead on the path to Torrey Pines.
A lot of the stuff you learn in golf, you learn before you learn in life, which is kind of cool. It's like, at a very young age, you learn how to shake people's hands and look them right in the eye, and it's like, most kids don't learn that until they go to college.
Splitting time between cross-country road trips, golf, and a home in Florida sounds like the life of a retiree. But the similarities don't stop there for 22-year-old U.S. Amateur champion Tyler Strafacci, an old soul who looks to the sounds of the Grateful Dead for motivation.
It's an acquired taste, that's for sure. It's the one thing I love about the Grateful Dead is they have a lot of great perspective and stuff. Just simple everyday tasks, and like just how you get through life and stuff like that, which I really love about it.
He'll take all the perspective he can get as he readies himself for a summer of USGA success. But last summer will be hard to top.
Strafacci has seen more than his share of drama in the previous 3 matches here. Can he get by one more time? Wow, look out. Man, what a shot. And Tyler Strafacci has won it all. The 120th U.S. Amateur champion.
Strafacci's U.S. Amateur win is something he'll savor forever. But he knows that the U.S. Open is a whole different animal.
It probably takes more out of you than any other tournament in the world. It's our national championship. I mean, it exposes everything you got. In golf, you're out there by yourself, right? There's no one out there to save you. You step up on that first tee and it's like, here we go. When you're at the Open, it's going into a fight with someone that's bigger and stronger than you, and you just gotta last the whole time. That's what it is. But if I do the right things proper during the week, there's no reason why I can't compete.
If you're a golfer, you deal with a lot more losses than victories. Some are just bigger than others.
Where does he need to improve to turn these close calls into victories?
Yeah, Bobby Jones famously said that he never learned anything from a match that he won. He only learned from the matches that he lost. And I think he'll put the shot that he hit on the 16th hole in the memory bank. I think he hit 2 shots today that were shots that he'd love to have back.
Just hours after the final putt drops at the 2021 Masters, Xander Schauffele is back at work in Southern California.
On 16, we saw the flag on 15 going down, and then in 2019, we hit 7-iron, and it went long. So Austin had that in the back of his head. So all these veterans were like, 16 always play short, like play the wind you feel. And so I was like, clearly that's complete horse, you know what I mean? And that was the end of it, basically.
You see, when you're searching for your first major, you can't leave any room for error.
Yeah, the pitching wedge too. Whenever I would cut the pitching wedge, it'd stay around 10, which was great. Yeah, that was nice. Should we hit some 8-irons?
Yeah.
I would preferably not be on the grass the following day. Sure, I'd rather be somewhere else. Cut that out.
The truth is, you could be a top 10 player in the world, or a low handicapper looking to test your game against the best.
Young pros I played with Monday hit the ball so far.
Either way, the USGA will give you a chance to compete as long as you want.
I took a handful of ibuprofen this morning, so.
Mel Hughes is a great example.
You know, these sort of tournaments get my competitive juices flowing, and even though, you know, I'm older than dirt, I mean, the competitive spirit doesn't go away.
He's a former aerospace exec who's been trying his hand at USGA qualifiers seemingly forever.
When I just opened, junior amateurs, if you go back that far, and amateurs and mid-amateurs, lots.
At 74 years old, the plus 1.7 handicap wants to give the U.S. Open another shot. He is the oldest of the 9,069 players who filed an entry for the Open. And at the preserve just outside of Monterey, he doesn't show his age at all early.
Who's who? Guess I outdrove you, huh?
There, you want me to get it?
Look out here. This is a beautiful setting. So you're walking around on in a beautiful geological area that's quiet. You can think to yourself, and it's a challenging game, and I'd like to keep playing as long as I possibly can.
He'll finish the day 11 over, well off the winner's pace, but ahead of 11 other contestants. And on his way out, there's a photo op with 14-year-old Luke Montoya, the youngest player in the competition. Hughes may not be moving on, but he's definitely moved by the experience.
Golf just provided those kind of opportunities, just a source of great fun among a group of people. 68 years of playing golf, I see no reason to stop.
Disappointed but not defeated, Mel Hughes is one of the first, certainly not the last, to fall short on the road to the U.S. Open. Coming up on From Many, One.
It's one of those places I get emotional every time I come to. All my memories growing up, pretty much as a kid, are right here.
This is a caddy swing right here.
Ah, please don't outdrive me.
Beat that, pro.
You're trying to challenge the best players in the world, and under the rigors of a U.S. Open, it's a challenging thing to do.
3, 2, 1. This is a real test, and it's fair, so I think it will crown the proper champion.
To have them watch me at the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines would be amazing. It doesn't matter how old you are, anything's attainable.
It's going to take incredible golf.
It is going to take every shot you got and more.